Hi, I'm back with another chapter of Mindy came on the trip to Korea, and it is chapter 6. On Friday, Dad rented a car and the entire family left for Seoul. My grandparents rode with Dad, Julie, and me, while my cousin's family took their car. Kun Appa took the day off from work, and my cousins took the day off school just so they could spend time with us. I felt really special. It was a 2.5-hour drive from my family's town to Seoul. At the beginning of the car ride, Julie, Dad, and I talked a lot in English. But then Dad talked to my grandparents in really fast Korean, so Julie and I were left out. Dad tried to loop us back in, translating when he could. When we entered the city, though, Dad focused on driving, so everyone was quiet. In the capital city, there were so many cars, and everyone was honking. It reminded me of when my parents and I went to San Francisco. San Francisco is a busy city too. The first place we were going to go was the Namdaemun Market. It's the largest market in all of Korea. Just pick whatever you want, Mindy. Harabaji will buy everything for you, Grandpa said. Harabaji is the Korean word for grandpa. That won't be necessary, Dad said. I can buy things for her myself. Grandpa laughed. You can't blame an old man for wanting to get his granddaughter's souvenirs so she can remember her trip. It's okay. I buy gifts for Sora and Sungjin all the time. Right, kids? Sora and Sungjin grinned. I managed to pay for most of them at the last minute, though, Kenappa said quietly, so Grandpa couldn't hear him. But he's a real fighter. Best of luck trying to convince him to not pay. Kanama explained to me that in Korean culture, people often fought over who should pay for things. Everyone is always too polite to let other person pay, especially when it comes to family. She said, you should see the tricks Kanapa plays to get the bill at family dinners. I laughed. Kanapa was nice and he was funny too. The outdoor market was really busy with shops selling everything from clothes to yummy snacks and pretty fans. Above our heads, there were small flags from countless countries hanging from strings. I spotted the American flag right next to the Korean one. The flags are there to help visitors feel welcome. This is a popular tourist area for people from all over the world, explained Dad. When I looked more closely at the crowds, I realized Dad was right. People from many different countries walked around the market and spoke in all sorts of languages. It was almost like being back in California. The first job that caught my eye was a booth selling lots of cute, bright clothes. The t-shirts had really adorable animals with happy smiles on them, and I really wanted one. Again, get whatever you want, Mindy, Grandpa said with a big smile. Your Harabaji has been waiting to spoil you on this trip, I giggled. Okay. I was so tempted to get the shirt with a dog or a cat on it, but I already had lots of shirts like that. I wanted to get something that would remind me of Korea. The travel guidebooks I read yesterday had said the national animal of South Korea was the tiger. When Korea hosted the Olympics a long time ago, the mascot was a cartoon tiger. I spotted a bright yellow shirt with a dancing tiger on the front. It looked so happy and made me happy too. Can I have this shirt, Harabaji? I asked. Grandpa took the shirt from me. How cute. Great choice. I'd be happy to buy this for you. Yay, I cheered. 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다 means thank you in Korea. Kunapa bought Sora and Sungjin shirts too. Sora got a pink shirt with a dog that looked like Bambi the Pomeranian, while Sungjin got a blue shirt with a penguin. All our shirts were amazing. A few blocks later, I saw a store selling bags shaped like various cartoon characters and friendly-looking animals. That one that caught my eye was teal blue and shaped like a smiling bear. That bag is so cute, I said. Grandpa snatched it from the rack, sounding triumphant, and as he said, I'll buy you this too. I can't get it, exclaimed Dad. Dad and Grandpa argued some more about who should buy me the bag, but Grandpa won again. Everyone laughed. 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다, I said again. Even though I appreciated that Grandpa was buying me stuff, I did feel bad. I didn't want him to go bankrupt. At another store full of souvenirs, I decided to get one last thing, a small pocket-sized Korean flag that I could take back home. When I handed the flag to him, Grandpa laid it out on his hands. His eyes got all shiny just like Dad's do when he is about to cry. Is this what you want, Minjung? He asked. Yep, I want something to remember Korea by. Grandpa looked so proud of me. Everyone did. After we were done shopping, we grabbed lunch from the street food vendors. Everyone got really yummy food like tteokbokki, dumplings, and knife-cut noodle soup. Julie got kimbap rolls like the ones she was planning to make. Kimbap is like sushi except instead of fish. It has beef, eggs, and lots of other yummy things in it. Julie closely looked at the kimbap like she was trying to remember all the ingredients. When no one else was looking, I gave her a thumbs up. I hoped she'd be able to make the kimbap successfully. After we were done with lunch, we left the market and headed to our next destination. We were on a fun city adventure. Chapter 7. Our next stop was Gyeongbokgung, the Korean royal palace. It's where the king and queen used to live back when Korea still had a royal family. Gyeongbokgung, it was built a long time ago, but it's surrounded by tall skyscrapers and modern museum buildings. I thought it was really cool how Seoul was a mix of the old and new. People from all over the world were people from all over the world were wearing hanbok, traditional Korean clothes, as they walked around the palace grounds. Everyone looked so pretty. Dad got out his phone and selfie stick from his bag and handed them to me. Here, he said, how would you like to be the family photographer for today? I grinned. I'd never used a selfie stick before, but I was so excited to try it out. I can take pictures too, Sungjin said. He got his own selfie stick from his bag as soon he and I were running around taking pictures of everything. It was so much fun. Tour groups speaking many different languages walked around the palace grounds. But we didn't need a tour guide, though. We had Grandpa. He knew everything from how the king held court to what happened to the royal family in the end. Dad translated in English when Grandpa said words I didn't know. Grandpa and Dad were both so smart. I also took a lot of pictures with Grandpa and Grandma all over the palace. There were so many pretty locations like the White Courtyard and the Queen's Quarters. I also took lots of fun group photos with Julie and the entire family. Dad promised he'd send pictures to my grandparents so they tagged them too. That way, even when we are an entire ocean and continent apart, we can all remember the time we spent together, Dad said. When we were leaving the palace, I saw some kids my age wearing hanbok. It reminded me of my own hanbok back home. It was my favorite because Mom had bought it for me a long time ago, but now it was too small for me. I couldn't get a new one back home in Florida because there weren't any hanbok stores there. Dad saw where I was looking. Hey, Mindy, since we're in Seoul, why don't we stop by a store and get you measured for a new hanbok? Dad asked. They can probably send it to Kunappa's apartment once it's done, and he can send it to us in Florida. I sure can, Kunappa said. Just give the shop my phone number and address. Wow, thanks, Kunappa. That's so nice of you. I got real excited. Finally, I could get a new hanbok, and it would be extra special since it was from Korea. Because Grandma and Grandpa were tired from all the walking around, my cousin's family went to a cafe with them while Julie, Dad, and I walked to the nearest hanbok store. It had hanbok in lots of different colors like yellow, pink, blue, and green. A nice lady measured my arms, my neck, and other areas. I got to choose the fabric and designs, too. I felt like I was getting fitted for my own princess gown. The lady said that my hanbok would be ready in a month, but I could try on a similar or already made one now so I could see what it would look like. I picked a hanbok with the same colors as the one I ordered, a light yellow top and a red skirt. It was really different from pink and rainbow one Mom had bought me a long time ago, but it was still cute. When I tried it on, Dad gasped, Mindy looked so grown up. His eyes were shiny. He seemed so proud. I stared at myself in the mirror, and like the old handbook, this handbook was my size, and Dad was right. I did look more grown up. And I looked like I belonged in Korea. On the way back home, Julie and I told Dad about Julie's plan to make kimbap. My grandparents were napping in their seats, but we talked in English just in case, so it wouldn't ruin Julie's surprise. You really don't have to make anything, Dad said, but that's so sweet of you. We're going to camping tomorrow, so kimbap will be perfect snack. If you want me to, I'll do my best to help. Me too, I said, raising my hand. I volunteered. Julie smiled. Aw, thanks you too. Brian, could you take your parents out for tea tomorrow morning? I'm sure they'd love spending some alone time with you, and it will give me time to make things. Got it, Dad said. I can definitely do that. And Mindy, continued Julie, can you come to the grocery store with me and help me get all the ingredients? I don't know much Korean, so I'd appreciate the help. Sure, I said. I'm not good at reading and writing in Korean, but I'll try my best. Your Korean is still better than mine, Julie said with a laugh. With our Korean skills combined and the internet, I'm sure we can figure everything out. I was so excited for what we had planned tomorrow. I felt like a secret agent about to carry out an important mission. Chapter 8. Julie and I went to the Korean grocery store first thing in the morning. Before we left, I thought about asking Sora or Sungjin for help, but decided not to. I didn't want to look silly when I didn't know a lot of words. Plus, they were still sleeping when we left. When we got to the store, though, I knew we were in trouble. Unlike back home in Florida, there wasn't any English on the signs, so it was really confusing. I tried my best to understand the Korean signs and labels, but Julie and I still ended up walking in circles to try find everything. By the time we were done shopping, I was pretty dizzy. Kunappa and Kunama were busy preparing for our camping trip when we got back home. Feel free to use the kitchen, Kunama said with a smile. Byung-hun told us about your plans, Kunappa explained using Dad's Korean name. So we got the other food ready first. Thank you so much, said Julie. The first part of making kimbap requires a lot of cooking and cutting, so Julie and I couldn't help out with that. If you want, you can help put all the ingredients together later, though, she said. Okay, I said. I want to go update my blog. For today's entry, I wrote about my trip to Seoul and included lots of pictures of my family and me. Just looking back at the photos made me so happy. When I was done, I went back to the kitchen. The room smelled like freshly cooked meat and sesame oil. All the Different vegetables and other kimbap ingredients were neatly laid out on the table. Perfect timing, Julie said. I was just about to put the ingredients together in the rolls. Let's try making only one first so we can taste it before we make the rest. Okay, Julie spread rice onto the dried seaweed, and I put the strips of beef, egg, carrot, spinach, and pickled radish on the side. It reminded me of how when I was little, I used to help Mom make kimbap too. Julie used a bamboo mat to roll up the kimbap and then cut it into bite-sized pieces with a knife. It looked so good. Yay! I said when the kimbap was ready to eat. Let's try it. Julie took one kimbap piece and I grabbed another. We put the kimbap in our mouth. It looked like the kimbap Mom used to make, but the taste was different. Instead of being a mix of sweet and savory, it was just really sweet. Too sweet. I didn't want to hurt Julie's feelings, so I didn't say anything. Oh no, Julie exclaimed. She spit out her piece. This is definitely not right. Sora and Sungjin came out of their rooms then. They changed out of their pajamas and were wearing t-shirts and shorts. I want to try, Sora said. Before anyone could stop her, she took a kimbap from the plate and put it in her mouth. Ew! Sora exclaimed, making a face. It's so sweet. Julie frowned. I wonder what went wrong. Maybe I didn't add enough salt. She grabbed the bag of salt from the counter. When they saw the bag, Sungjin and Sora giggled. That's not salt, that's sugar, Sungjin said. See, it says sultang. That's sugar. Salt is so good. He pointed at the bag, and I looked more closely at the letters and gasped. I'd made a horrible mistake. Oh! I cried out. Oh no! What happened? Julie asked. I got salt and sugar mixed up, I said sadly. I only remembered that the word for sugar started with an S and had two syllables. Sorry, Julie. I messed up. Instead of being mad, though, Julie laughed. It's okay, Mindy, she said. I'm glad we only made one rule. I can just remake the ingredients that needed salt in them. I felt really bad, but I was glad everyone thought my mistake was funny. By the time Julie finished remaking the kimbap, Dad came back with his parents so we could all leave for Gangwon-do. I was so excited for our camping trip. Gangwon-do is an area of Korea that has lots of mountains, rivers, and beaches, so it's a common vacation spot. Dad explained. It's also a great place to mulmuri. What's mulmuri? I wanted to know. Mulmuri is the Korean word for playing in the water. Gangwon-do has a lot of shallow creeks that are safe to play in. So a lot of kids go mulmuri there. The drive to Gangwon-do was almost 3 hours, but it was worth it because Gangwon-do was so pretty. The mountains were green and the creeks and rivers were so shiny and clear. Lots of other families were playing in the water or setting up tents already. When we found an empty area by a creek, Dad and Kunapa set up a tent with some lawn chairs so my grandparents could have somewhere to rest while we played. Nearby, a lot of other kids were in the creek. There were either splashing around in the shallow water or floating on tubes and floaties in the deeper parts. It looked really fun. Race you to the water, yelled Sungjin. Wait, Kunama said. Everyone needs to put on sunscreen before you get in the water. And we still need to inflate the tubes. She and Julie helped us apply sunscreen while Kunapa and Dad inflated our floaties. We had two, one shaped like a unicorn and another one shaped like a watermelon. We also had a tube shaped like a pink donut for Sora. Everything was so cute. After we were done putting on sunscreen, Sungjin and I helped by laying out a dojari in front of the tent. A dojari is a large plastic foldable mat that can be used for a picnic. And then it was finally time for Moonori. And that is the end of the chapter, and we will back with the next one. Bye!